So we got a full house today. We had to make room for you and everything. So we for you I am blocking the cool side. I feel so bad. I had to give up me comfy chair. You had to give up the comfy chairs for you. Sorry. The three of us have been, for the last couple weeks, living in the mind of a person that doesn't exist. Yes, but we named her. But we named her. I. Her name is Sarah Ellison, thanks to a random Facebook person who came up with that. We thought it was funny. Yeah, they said Sarah Ellison. We added the "yeah," so slightly modified, but we decided that she was a Midwestern housewife and mom who had never left her hometown of possibly Dayton, Ohio. We made up a Christian denomination for her. She has a religion. She's a Reform and a Baptist. No, and a Protestant. Yeah, she's a Reform and a Protestant. Huh. No, I wasn't there for this comic. No, I wasn't. This is new information for me. Too busy writing. I think the most interesting thing about writing from this author's point of view is what does she think is romantic. Yeah. And writing these awful characters being awful people to each other. The romantic leads air Lego brick and air sexy Cthulhu. So he's domineering and overprotective, and to her that's sexy because that means he loves her and she is wildly insecure and embarrassed of everything she does. It's been painfully awkward writing. Yeah. Just to have her be feeling these awful feelings like fear and pain and insecurity and shame. Embarrassment. Shame. Shame's boring, and romanticize and finding it to be sexy. Just like 50 Shades. Not bad, but just awkward is like it's the Lovecraft element. It's like I'd be writing like, I am the great one, and that is why I cannot go out with you. That's my favorite line in the whole thing so far. I cannot be your boyfriend. I've just been wondering how many more times I can have Lego Brick think, oh God, we readjustants to you, aren't we? I'm not worthy. Oh God, are you even paying any attention to me? We are adjustants to you. I think at the end of the day, it's still a better book than most, yeah, kind of unintentionally so. It's turned out really good, and our ghostwriters are 5 children. Yeah, Sarah Ellinson's 5 children. Yes, Sarah Ellinson has 5 children. Allison Ellinson. Allison Ellinson, Marion Ellinson, Matt and Matt. Why does she have 2 children named Matt? Who knows? It's an Anna-Protestant thing. Josh Ellenson. Yes, these are Sarah Ellinson's 5 children. It's an Anna-Protestant tradition to have 2 children named the same name. Matt and Matt. 8 people. First we divided it up amongst ourselves, and we gave each of our ghostwriters 2 or 3 smaller sections to write, and then sort of split the rest amongst ourselves, and we had our outline in Google Docs, color-coded it. Oh yeah, which kind of turned out to be a mistake because it's really hard to track changes. It was a rainbow cornucopia. So basically the way we did it in a sort of efficient manner was with technology, with the wonder and the glory that is Google. Basically we had one master document, which was where the outline was, where everyone could share ideas and keep everything straight. What is the class schedule for Lego Brick and all her friends? Who are the teachers? What does her house look like? What are the settings for happening? Character outlines. And then everybody had their each individual doc which only they could edit, but everyone else could read and leave comments on. So we wrote the first draft of a book in 2 weeks. We were not done by any means. It's pretty solid though, and some really good stuff. Still a better love story than Twilight, as the cliché goes. So in regards to writing this, I gotta say, writing this romance between Lego Brick and sexy Cthulhu was painful in a way. Sometimes the ridiculousness of it would sort of keep it going because it was like, this is so ridiculous, I have to keep writing it. And then other times it was just so painful because it's such a painfully bad relationship. It's embarrassing to be part of. I mean, I was writing like this for half the time that I wrote. I think one thing, that was really fun about actually outlining it was when we were talking about how our author was writing about all these locations she'd never been to, like our location of Portsmouth, Rhode Island, and we have a little witches where it takes place. Yeah, like we have a little plot cul-de-sac where they go to New York City. We decided our author would get all her information about New York City from Home Alone 2. Yeah, it's all like her entire perception of New York City is from Home Alone 2. And so she gets everything wrong. There's prostitutes everywhere. The plaza is still a hotel. They can walk everywhere even if it's like 13 miles apart. They take a carriage ride like the World Trade Center's still there. We didn't go that far, but Portsmouth, Rhode Island, where our story takes place. None of us have ever been there. We purposefully did not do any research because we wanted to get it wrong. So we just making up stuff that's there. And then there's this beach over here. That really hurt me to do. Like to not be, they have a bonfire on the beach, which I know, like I've never been there, and I know that's like a no bueno. Yeah. It hurts me soul thinking about how much I have not looked up with Portsmouth. I thought it was fun. I was like, this is great, all the not research I get. This is lazy writing. The other funnest part was going through it and having him do awful things to her. Like be controlling, or mean, or yell at her, or scare her, and have her be like, he's so sexy. Yeah. And he yells at me like that. It means he cares. Yeah. Because he just wants to protect me. One of the things I was noticing myself trying to figure out how to do is, what I've noticed in these books is the info dumps, where the author has actually done research. It's like, here's a list of all my research. Or here's a list of things I know about that the characters are just going to be discussing for no other reason besides I need to up me word count or something, or I want them to appear intelligent in some manner. Oh yes, like her favorite book. Yeah. Of course we made the favorite book Phantom because he's a monster, and I really like it because there's always this classic literature thing. On the road trip, he makes her sing Angel, and he thinks it's beautiful. And we made it so this woman's never actually read the book. She's just seen the musical. So she keeps quoting the book, and she's just quoting the musical as if it's so deep and so romantic. One girl, I forget her name, she suggested The Great Gatsby, and we were originally going to go with that, especially in light of this new movie coming out. But we decided to go with Phantom because, well, it's got the he's a monster but I love him thing, and we can play with the musical, but also because it's really not great literature. The book is not that good. It was like a pulp novel when it was written that's kind of so old now that people think it's a classic. Yeah, well, it's a classic because it's old. And it's like, no, it was kind of a pulp novel that just got really popular. And the prose is so beautiful, so poetic. Now what do? We got a first draft, almost, pretty much. Well, now we have to homogenize it because one of the problems with writing with 8 people is, they all have their own voice. And while the voices on many of them are very similar, some people are a little wordier than others. Oh yeah, some people are so funny. Yeah. And I feel like if one of our goals was to make Uncle Neil like the greatest character in modern literature, I feel like we succeeded. Mission accomplished. And when we say we mean the person who wrote it. Yeah, we got a thank lesson for that one. She had most of the Uncle Neil chat. Oh, you guys are gonna love it. Uncle Neil is the bomb. I wish he was in it more. Well, mission accomplished. He was our Carlisle, and we succeeded. Yeah, and you re gonna wish this book was about him. Yeah, and our good friend Kate is awesome and lovable. And our ethnic third wheel, Vic. Yeah, I think we kinda, I guess we kinda failed with him. He's our Jacob, so it's okay. I mean, let's face it, Jacob doesn't get interesting until the second book anyway. So, yeah, where we find out Vic is actually the final reincarnation of Vishnu. And it's gonna be Vishnu versus Cthulhu. Team Vishnu, Team Cthulhu. We all going to hell. So we gonna homogenize. We gonna take everyone's chapters and do a sweep through. And then we gonna get it edited. And then the worst, the absolute worst, 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 worst aspect of any remotely sort of kind of professional author. The query process. The worst thing ever. Writing a query letter. Making a plot summary. Making submissions. Yeah, so that will be fun. So we'll get to. We will get help on that and your suggestions and everything. Trying to make the query. But we not there yet. Right now we re-editing. Oh yes, our chapter titles. We decided we all gonna start with one-word titles that mean nothing. So throw us your patience. Constellations. Constellation. Constellations. Careening. Car. Choices. Since we not done, we still as always open to little details. You know, loops. You know, character details. We can still fit it in. There's still time. And as always, follow us on Twitter. Badam. And of course the funny, silly Twitter dedicated specifically to this project. At Sexy Alien Book. I won't ever change it. He's technically an alien. He's an alien, not from another planet, from another dimension. Just between the spaces. It's weird. That was another thing about writing this. I was just like, you know what? We should just be deliberately inconsistent with the rules of this universe. Because the author did think too hard. So next week we gonna talk about location a bit. And in the meantime, we just gonna edit this sucker. And ye, love never tugging.